Okay, so in this video, we are reviewing the all-new Samsung Galaxy Watch 6 Classic. We are celebrating the return of the beloved Classic line here. Let's go ahead and jump in. First things first, let's go ahead and start off with the basics. Price and config. This bad boy here will run you $399 for the 43mm, or for the 47mm like what I have here, you will have to shed $429. And you have two variants available for this bad boy right here. You have it in black like what I have here, and you also do have it in silver. They both look just super dope, but I personally think that the black here is just a lot more sleek and a lot more modern. I absolutely love it here. Now the front is going to be made of sapphire crystal, and I'm talking about the front display here, right? So you will have that sapphire crystal there, and the body is going to be stainless steel. This is something that a lot of people were looking forward to on the body of another watch here. I personally was looking forward to that. We also are celebrating the return of the rotating bezel. The display here is still Super AMOLED, so a beautiful Super AMOLED display here, even brighter than the previous versions here, with about 14% more pixel on this watch here. And you can immediately notice that, by the way, right? You can immediately notice that it is brighter than the previous one, and it's also probably because it's a larger front. The display there is larger. You will notice that the bezel is thinner here, which makes it even slicker than what the previous model was, right? So a larger display here for you to do a bit more, specifically 1.5 inches as opposed to the 1.4 that we had on the previous iteration of this particular model. The body of the watch itself is about 10.9mm thick, right? So kind of that standard size that we are all accustomed to. It is IP68 rated, of course. It's EKG certified as well. You have the sleep tracking stuff going on here, body composition, all of the previous stuff that we had on the previous watches. It's also coming up with this amazing feature here, blood pressure monitoring. But as of the shooting of this video, it has not been approved in the US just yet, but internationally, of course, you could go ahead and turn that on. Now on the back here, you still have those fancy sensors, right? Those same advanced sensors that you had on the Watch 5 Pro, like the one that I have here. I'm actually going back and forth between these two watches here. You have infrared on the back of this, which is, you know, something new and definitely more subtle, I would say, in the middle of the night. But anyway, so in terms of the internal storage, what you have here, 16 gigs of internal storage here, along with 2 gigs of RAM. It is running an Exynos chipset. You have the Exynos W930 here, which is a new processor, right? And you have Android Wear OS 4 sitting on here, along with One UI Watch 5 sitting on top of this. So that very fluid user experience that you get, you know, at least if you are someone like myself who was already accustomed to, you know, Galaxy watches. You know, every now and then, of course, I do buy Apple watches, but I tend to prefer Galaxy watches because they, well, I have my own reasons. But anyway, so, you know, you get that same fluid experience here, and performance has been really good. I haven't encountered any issues with it. Nothing, you know, that just popped out of nowhere that I wasn't expecting. So moving from my Galaxy Watch 5 Pro here to this, I'm actually not even moving from this. You know, like I mentioned, I actually go back and forth between both watches here. Nothing really surprising. I'm just happy to have this particular model back, along with that rotating bezel. That's one of the things that I absolutely love with this. Now, let's go ahead and talk battery here, which is going to be, you know, one of those things where personally I think it's a little bit of a disappointment for me, not because the battery is bad, but simply because I'm used to the battery on the Galaxy Watch 5 Pro, which is a model that is different from the Classic, right? The Watch 5 Pro was built for a specific crowd, and the battery that they added to that watch was also geared towards that particular specific crowd. And I got used to it. I got used to using 3 to 4 days, or getting 3 to 4 days battery life here. And now that I'm switching to a regular smartwatch, which by the way, this one gets you up to a day and a half of battery life, which is actually a little bit more than your normal smartwatch, like an Apple Watch, you know, Series 8. Like the one that I had was getting about a day and a few hours. This one get a little bit more than that, but still, because I'm used to a 3 to 4 day battery life type here on the Galaxy Watch 5 Pro, I feel kind of disappointed. It's definitely good battery for what it is, right? For a standard watch. On the new Galaxy Watch 6 Classic here, they actually upgraded the battery size. You're looking at 425 milliamp, as opposed to the 361 that you had on the previous Galaxy Watch 4. That is definitely a bump in size, which actually does show in real life experience. When you're using the watch, it definitely lasts longer than the previous one, but still, when compared to the Galaxy Watch 5 Pro here, which by the way is loaded with a 590 milliamp battery, it just seems like, you know, it can't keep up, which makes sense, of course. These are two different watches from two different categories. But anyways, in terms of performance, of course, you do have faster performance here. Same form factor, right? You don't really expect user experience to be that that drastically different, but what you have here is definitely, something that's snappier. Things load up faster when you're loading apps or when you're opening apps. Things definitely move a lot faster here than on the previous generation. I've been loving using this so far. Now, Samsung did have this thing that I thought was super backwards. Anytime you would upgrade or change your phone, then you would have to reset your watch. And I've lost data so many times because I'm constantly changing phones, and you probably know that. I have two numbers and I'm constantly going through different phones like every couple of weeks, every few weeks, and I always found myself losing data. I would lose all of the workout that I accumulated during a given period of time, from the last change of a phone to the next upgrade. But Samsung added something here where you don't have to go through that anymore. So if you are changing phones, it could just go ahead and connect and you keep your data. You don't have to lose all of your data anymore when upgrading to a new phone or when changing phones, just as simple as that. Here's the thing that I really like about using these two watches, right? Switching in between both is so seamless, meaning when I remove one watch and I put on the other one, it automatically recognizes on my phone and I don't have to worry about anything else. It is so cool to just do that. So whatever data I have on the other one that I'm taking off, when I put on the other one, it just consolidate both and just keep all of that, on the app. So you can have multiple watches, and as you switch over, you are good to go. You don't have to worry about, losing data that you accumulated on one watch as opposed to the other. So that's another thing that I absolutely love about this. They've also improved the Find My Phone feature on the watch. So even if your watch is disconnected from the phone, as I mentioned, switching back and forth in between these watches, even if it's disconnected from your phone, you can still find your phone. Workout auto tracking is still there, right? So it just automatically starts tracking. It works just as well as before. Now, one thing that I need to test out is the GPS, right? I was having some issues with the accuracy of the GPS on my Watch 5 Pro here. I'm gonna make sure that I test that out and bring that up to you in the next review of this watch here. Having the bezel back is really, really something special, right? Just being able to navigate, it truly helps make navigation very comfortable. I mean, obviously you can still swipe the screen if you wanna go ahead and move forward or go back and all that good stuff, but it's just so satisfying to just hear those clicks as you navigate through your display here. And having this larger display just makes the interface here super nice. It's just a fantastic, interface here overall because it's a larger display here along with thinner bezels, and the ability to just navigate using the bezel, the rotating bezel here is just something very, very special and so satisfying, right? I think we've all been waiting for this. Some people are switching back from Apple, watches just to go back to having the classic here. It's so cool to have it back. When I'm dressing up, this is what I will wear, and as you can see, the band that I have here will be something that's a bit more responsible, right? As opposed to what I have here, which is a more sportier, where I wear this, to hit the gym and all that good stuff, and not having to worry about sweat and dust and all that good stuff. This is water resistant, of course, at up to 50 meters. It would do fine in a pool. Now, Samsung did come out with this quick release technology, on the bands, right? So you can easily remove the bands and easily add them, just at the push of a button. It has these push release button that you just press and it just comes up. It's so nice and it makes life so easy, as it is the case on Apple watches, right? So it's easy to just pop in your band and remove it. And for people like myself who are always, dressing up their devices with different accessories, it's definitely golden. But anyways, here's my take. The all new Samsung Galaxy Watch 6 Classic here is definitely worth picking up. It is classy, it's stylish, and of course you can dress it up depending on the type of band or bracelet that you have here. Very, very cool watch. You have a larger display, a brighter display, a faster processor, more advanced features on here. It's definitely something to pick up, but that's just my take. Let me know what your take is. Let me know in the comment section. I would love to get that back and forth going. I'm gonna catch you in that comment section like I always do. Make sure to share this video if you know anyone who'll be interested. Make sure to like the video, of course, and subscribe if you haven't done so to the channel. Subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna catch you in the next video as well. Up until that next video, of course, as always, stay safe out there.